This is Tyler Lewis here with Being on Hoops. We're honored today to have Davis Molnar with us, 6'6" guard from Terry Sanford. Thanks for having us. Thanks for being on here, man.
Thank you for having me.
Davis, I think everyone knows you as with your high basketball IQ. How would you describe your basketball game?
I would describe it as I look to make the right play first. I love to get my teammates open before I look to score, which some people tell me that's a flaw, but I would much rather set someone else up for a bucket than get one myself.
And that's what I kind of admire about you, because I was the same way as a player. I love getting other people involved and setting them up. I would much rather get the assist and get a bucket. But I think that's what makes you so special out there on the court is obviously we know you can score, but you love also getting other people involved. And other people love being around you on the court, and that's what makes you special.
Yes, sir.
So when did you fall in love with the game of basketball?
Well, I grew up playing soccer as my first sport, so that was kind of my first love. But then when I started playing travel basketball around the age of 10 is really when I started to pick up basketball and fell in love with that. So.
And was your dad your mentor? I know he's your high school coach. And kind of talk about your relationship with your dad a little bit, kind of putting him as dad or coach. And when do you separate the two?
Oh, it's great. I mean, Dad's always coach you in life, really. So he can be a coach in life and on the court. So he's coached me my whole life. On the court, he was mostly assistant coach all the way up until high school. But for soccer, he's coached me my whole life. I've only had one other soccer coach other than him. So it's been a fun ride.
I know it is. It's always special. And obviously me, I just started working with my dad, and it's so much fun. He coached me all the way up till I was 15 years old until I made the switch over the Team Loaded. And it was just really fun to be able to spend all that quality time with your dad. Sometimes long car trips after bad games, but most of the time you're normally having good games. So it's always good moments in those car rides. I know how it is after bad games. So describe your dad. Obviously, we just started talking about some car rides. Describe your dad during a long car ride after a good game or a bad game.
It's really the same. He kind of keeps his comments to himself because I was an emotional kid. So if he took anything he said that I didn't like, I would kind of get hyped up about it, and then it would just go into shambles, and I wouldn't really understand what he was saying. So he would wait a day or two later to actually give it to me when I was over the game. So the car rides back, it was really just silence. Just that was for the bad ones. For the good ones, we obviously talked about it because it was just all positive things. But the bad games had to wait a little bit.
I know your dad is probably your biggest fan and your biggest critic at the same time.
Yes, sir.
So going into your junior year, what's your goals for this upcoming season?
Well, with Corona, the season's cut in half. So really, I'm just looking to win. We lost a lot of seniors at Terry Sanford, big seniors who helped us. So I don't even want to call it a rebuilding year, but just a year to do the right things, because we can still compete with everyone in the conference, I think, in the state. So just compete, and I think we'll have a good chance to win.
I wouldn't necessarily call it a rebuilding year. Obviously, when you have you on the court, no matter who the other four players are, you're going to make them better. And who is another player on your team or other players that you think is going to have a big impact on your season as well?
Well, last year he also had a big impact. Kalen Keys, he came over from Jack Britt last year. It was his first year at Terry Sanford. But I actually played with him travel when I was younger, so we already had a great relationship. And so he knew where I was already. If I had the ball, he knew when to cut. we already had that chemistry. So last year he saved us in plenty of games, and I expect him to do the same thing this year.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, getting into your recruitment, what schools are recruiting you? When did schools start to reach out to you? And if you have any favorites, you don't have to say it, but I just want to hear about your recruitment a little bit as um, you've blown up here lately.
The first school who ever reached out to me was Belmont. My my freshman year summer, we were down in Birmingham, Alabama, playing the Adidas championships, and they saw me there and they sent me a letter just reaching out because you're really not supposed to talk then. But then, so when is it June 15th? That was June 15th. So then when June 15th hit, got a call from them and a couple other schools, but it really was just iffy. Like Elon called, Charlotte texted, Virginia called me a couple times, Campbell obviously because they came in, and I've had a good relationship with Campbell. My brother goes there, so I've been to games there, and so when June 15th hit, they were right on there. They offered me that day, and it was really exciting because that was my first offer. And since then, it's been really great. Just all the schools that have reached out to me I love talking to all the coaches, and it's been really good.
Sounds good. And if you don't mind, do you mind sharing your offers right now and how many you have?
I have 3 offers: Campbell, Elon, and Ole Miss.
Oh, man. So when you're looking to make your decision, what are you looking for in a school, and like what kind of style and fit are you looking for on the basketball court?
Um, I'm looking for a school who can really set me up for my future. Obviously, the academics come into play, but if there is a chance for me to play like pro somewhere, wherever it is, a school that could set me up for that. And most of the schools that I've talked to, their academic programs are outstanding, so I don't think I'll have a problem with any school I go to academic wise.
So, all right, I have one question for sure. If you had to clone yourself right now and you're playing one on one with yourself and you had one opportunity, are you getting a bucket or are you getting a stop against yourself?
A bucket.
I like it. I like it. And why would you get a bucket?
Because I know my flaws on defense too well.
All right, I like it. I like it. And what's would you say defense is something that you need to get maybe better at, or do you pick your spots? What would you say your weakness is on the basketball court if you think you have any?
I would say defense. I try to play defense a smart way instead of just like going at it. So I would say defense, but it's came a long way though. So
No, I was right there with you. That was one of my flaws out there on the court too. I could do anything pretty much on the offensive end, but came to defense, wasn't too great. But I mean, you make up for it in so many ways. What's one thing that you were looking for to get like these next 2 years in high school with your dad that like y'all are gonna share this moment forever?
I mean, I think every game that I play where my dad's coaching is just like it's something to remember. And we could make a run, we might not, but I just think 2 more seasons with your dad as a coach, which is most likely the last time he'll ever coach you, is special.
Would you say he's your like biggest role model in your life?
Yes, sir.
Because I know I was there in Fayetteville last Saturday. You and your him and your mom, they were there supporting you, cheering you on. I know it has to be awesome having both your parents there and just cheering you on at every game and loving on you.
Yes, sir.
So it's good, man. That's definitely a blessing because I was stuck in that same situation. with my parents, and just blessed to have them at my games. And obviously, it makes a difference to look in the crowd and see them right there with you.
Sir.
So, man, well, I appreciate you coming on here, man. I told you it was going to be quick,
Yes,
and
sir.
I appreciate you. And obviously, you have a big fan in me. I love the way you play the game. You play it the right way, and I know if I was out on the court with you, you would definitely get me the ball in the right situations.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
No problem, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, and thanks
Thank,
so much.
thank you for having me.
No problem.
Uh-huh.